Hey everyone, Shakia here from Elite Events and Creations and the Facebook group SILaholics Anonymous. This video is going to be on how to design MOMograms, which is a play on words for monograms. And I'm not going to say it's a new technique or anything like that, but it is what's trending in a lot of the Facebook groups that I'm in on Facebook. And it's just been coined as a MOMogram because one of the first ones, someone put mom in there and then they put like the names of her children around it. So that's kind of what people are calling it. But you can actually search this technique as far as cropping words or letters to a specific shape. So there are other tutorials like this on YouTube. But I'm going to make this specific for the monogram type because, people normally add names and other shapes to the outside of it. So I'm going to show you how to design it in that manner. Okay. I'm going to come here. I've already kind of preset some of the fonts that I wanted to use and some of the colors to make it easier and so that the video is not super long. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is just create a circle. Okay. I'm going to, most of the time when people do this, they'll use fonts such as Impact because it is a nice chunky font. It has clean lines and straight lines on it. And those make the best, those are the best fonts for these types of projects. I am going to use a couple of the other ones just to show you how those work as well. But for the most part, people tend to use Impact, okay? And as far as like what I just did there, I just held down my Alt key and then I held down my Alt key and my left mouse key, click that and then drag it over and just makes a duplicate of it, okay? So I'm just going to click in here and I'm going to type. I want to be on caps lock. I'm going to type mom, okay? And now I hit Z on my keyboard to get to zoom. I'm going to click here to zoom into this area. And I'm going to actually make my circle bigger. So I'm just grabbing the corner. I'm holding down Shift and Alt just so that I can stretch it evenly all the way around. Okay, what I normally do is I'll take the mom or whatever sentiment you have or whatever word you have in the middle. And I like to stretch it again from the center, holding down Shift and Alt. And I like to stretch it until my edges touch, until I touch the edges of the circle. And what I forgot to do is take this and center it. And now I'm just going to pull it until it touches the edges. Then I'm going to actually make a duplicate of this because I'm going to show you a different way. So now I'm going to ungroup this. You can, at this point, you can take, even when it was in text form, you could take all of them. I'm going to hold down Alt so that it stretches from the middle, and you can just stretch it up until they all fall outside of the circle, okay? If you wanted to, you could stretch this one out and also stretch this one out to come to the edge of the circle. You can do it that way, or you can leave it as is. And what you want to do to, let's see, is this on? Add that, okay. Now I'm going to actually show you that it doesn't matter where that circle is or where that shape is when it comes to this particular design. It can be in the back, it can be in the front. It's just going to basically crop where those two shapes intersect. So if I had this one and this was up here, it's going to just cut off there because that's where those shapes intersect. So that's why I fill it with color so that you can see where it was. And that it doesn't really matter if it's in the front or the back, it's going to still crop, okay? If it's not doing what you want it to do, something else, could be wrong. But as far as cropping, it doesn't matter where that shape is. So I'm going to actually just go back and I'm going to actually let me go and yeah, I'll just crop it, okay? And so with this, okay, you can see the mom. I'm going to actually take the line color off. I'm not a fan of the line colors. So you can see the word mom. You can see, you see how the O is. You can do it that way where you stretch everything. I'm actually going to show you a way that I prefer to do it when it comes to letters like the O. The M, it doesn't really matter unless you manually go in and move the sharp points here. But for the O, I kind of don't really want it to be where the center part is going that far up. Now, you could very well just click on this and grab those and bring this down some. So you can do it after the fact to adjust the O sum, or you can do it when you're first designing it. I'm just going to ungroup. I'm going to stretch this just a little. And then for the rest of it, I'm going to, I'm holding down my shift key and then my left mouse key and drag over the points that I want to select. And I'm just going to nudge them up until I cross the top of the circle. Same thing here. Hold down shift, left mouse key, and drag up, and then I'm going to come down. When it comes to the M's, like I said, that one doesn't really matter as much because I can kind of stretch this, and then if I were to double click on it to get the edit points and drag this up, actually if you hold down shift, it'll go up a lot faster, so you don't have to wait for it to to go slowly. So just hold down your shift key and tab up and it'll go up. And I'm going to go here and adjust that one. Double click on this one. And adjust this one. So I'm going to now go and modify, crop. So you can see the center of the O looks different, but the M's don't. So with letters like the M, it doesn't really matter, okay? So I'm going to actually, I forgot to make a duplicate of it. So I'm just going to take this one and bring it back over here. And what I can do is I'm going to select all of these and group them together. Highlight both the circle and the word mom, come to align and align center for it to center on that. Okay, now with this one, I'm going to actually put in a different word. So someone asked about the word, like anything that begins with the word, like the letter T. So I'm going to use this one and I'm going to just go Tia. And again, I'm going to center it. And I want to change this one to, I'm going to hit I on my keyboard, which gives me my properties dropper. That is a feature of Designer Edition and above. I'm going to click on Damn Noisy Kids. And now I'm going to center them, make sure it's centered. And I'm going to adjust my word and zoom into this section. Okay, so again, I'm going to ungroup. And then this one, I'm going to hold down my Alt key. I don't have to hold shift. Well, I'm going to make sure I'm over this node here. Hold down my Alt key. And now I can stretch it from the center until it reaches the end. It does kind of change the shape a little bit. So I'm just going to click on this. And I'm going to come to this node. Again, hold down Alt. And I just want to open it up just a little bit because it did kind of, when it stretched, it made it a little bit skinnier. So I just want to stretch that back open just a little bit. Now, when it comes to the T, I could stretch this, but it makes this one, I'm going to make it big anyway, but I kind of wanted to have more of a tail. So you can stretch it and you can either bring it up or you can do the edit points to edit those as well. So with this one, and I kind of want this part to be inside the circle, so I'm going to just bring this down some, so about there. When it comes to the A, because it has like this little funky area right here, what you can do is I'm going to stretch this one just a little bit until it kind of gets to the top. Now, this is why I was saying where you want to start doing the edit points If I stretch this too much, I hit the wrong one. I had Alt and I was duplicating it. If I click on this and then I stretch it and I stretch it too much, I'm going to start to lose the bottom of the A, which defines it as an A. And I don't want to do that. So I kind of get it to a nice place to where I can still see it defined as an A. Now I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to click this point, hold down Shift and go down so that that lines up. Then I'm going to drag over just this point and this point. And actually I'm going to go from, I had them go from that side. And then the same thing, I'm going to do the same thing there. I'm going to bring it down. You will see that as it stretches, this side is starting to move in. So once this one kind of breaks where the circle is, I'll click off of that and then just grab this one, and I'm going to bring this down and then also nudge it over. Okay. Same thing with this. I'm going to go and click here, nudge that one. Oh, I still had the bottom one selected because I hit Shift. So I'm going to double click off. I'm going to click back on it, hold down my Shift key and go up with this one. Same thing with this point. I'm going to click on that and just go up. And you'll see that the letter starts to fill in a little bit. But for this one, I'm actually going to also move this over to the side to kind of thicken that up some. Now, when you're doing it as the monogram, you want to make sure that you take the circle and you make a copy of it. For me, Control-C. Don't paste it or anything yet. Then you want to highlight it all. Again, just crop. And that's kind of how your T is going to look. I mean, this is a funky font, so it looks like it's kind of leaning, and so you can do it with different fonts. But when it comes to trying to do the monogram, what you want to do is just paste it back in front, and that's going to give you your circle that you're going to either make a border from or put your curved text on. I don't really want my ring to be this close up on it, but of course I needed that to have something to offset. So I'm just going to offset this and apply. I'm going to come back to it again. I'm going to offset it again, but this time I'm going to make it 0.04 and apply. It's wide selected. I'm going to hold down my Shift key and select the back circle. You don't have to necessarily fill it with color, but I'm going to fill it with color just so that you can see what happens with it. You see everything is filled in with color. This is just to further explain what compound path does. So I'm going to go Control-E to make it a compound path, and it basically just makes it a ring, okay? And actually from that one, I should have made the one for the text. I'm going to actually copy this, paste in front. I'm going to release compound path on it, weld, and I'm going to make it white and add the line color back. Oh, I'm sorry, not white. I want to make it clear so that I can see through it so I'll know where my lettering is going. I'm actually going to take that one and I'm going to move it off to the side only because I don't want my curved text to interfere with what's going on here. And I can actually get rid of this one. Don't need that one anymore. So now I'm going to go and type. I'm going to bring this font over and I'm going to type Makai Jeremiah. I'm going to make a duplicate of this and I'm going to write Zora Imani. Okay, I'm going to adjust the point size on these to around 30. Let's make it 35. And you can play around with that part as far as trying to get exactly where you need it. So I'm going to bring this up here, and all you do is, I'm sorry, let me zoom into this section so you can see without it being so far away. And I'm going to double click on the text until I get the green box, and you want to pull this circle here. And then just make any adjustments that you need to get it to where you want it. If you want to move it up, right now, this would sit directly on top of this, directly on top of the ring. You could have either made it made another offset to where it's off just a little bit, or you can use this little adjuster here, and I don't think it's going to come up. Yeah. Some fonts, you will not get it to where you can use the adjuster, and you have to use a separate font and then go back and make the adjustments. So with this one, I'm going to go, let's just go with Arial, and then you'll see what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to, if I just pull it to the line, it's going to go and it's still going to be upside down. You want to slowly push your mouse up until it flips on the inside. Once it flips, now you want to move, I'm going to bring it back down. Now you want to move your mouse side to side, or like kind of around to move it. And now it's still not letting me adjust it. Why is that? Okay, let's go with here, and I'm going to go, oops. I think when it does that, you have to fully type it over in whatever font that you're going to use. So I'm going to go 35. Pull this away, and I can actually delete it. And now I'm going to go pull it in. And see, now I have the adjuster. So now I can pull this out. And then now I'm going to hit I on my keyboard. Make sure that you're not in the text mode anymore. You're just on the regular selection. I'm going to hit I on my keyboard, and I'm going to select over here. So it's going to make it the same color, the same font, the same point size, everything as this one. Even if let me go back. If I had this one set to 40, when I come here, it's going to adjust it back to 35. So that's one of the great features of the Designer Edition. The one thing though, when you do pull it that way, and you're pulling it down too far, your letters start to separate. So you can use your character spacing to adjust those in some, okay? And we're just going to double click back on this and move it around. And I want a little bit of separation between the dash. So that's how you would get the fonts to where it's on the other side. Then you just click them both, and then you can convert to path. You would delete this circle. I'm going to group them together, and then I'm going to grab, I'm going to actually make sure I group all of this together. And then now I can center them. And so that's what I say, when you're on here, I didn't pull this one up enough. I did pull this one down, but I forgot to pull this one up. So that's what I was saying. It would be right on it. So the best thing to do would actually be, when you have that circle, to make an offset of it, to pull it out so that you know it's not going to overlap your ring. Or just remember to pull it up with the little adjuster. Now you can go ahead and add in different shapes. I pull from, ones that I have. Here, I already pulled it, but I put a post up about things to buy from like the Silhouette store. And this is a great example because this is a card, but I like the way the flowers were on here. So I already pulled it. So it's here. So this is like the way the whole image comes. So I'm just going to ungroup it. And I just want this piece, maybe even the like a leaf or two. I'm actually going to bring this butterfly over as well. So I'm just going to copy and paste these over. So if you have a file, like, you can use it for more than one thing. If you like a certain element on it, you can use it for a card, but you can also use them for different elements as well. So I'm just going to fill that in with purple. And I mean, if I wanted to, I could put the leaves on there. So you could do that, you know, if you wanted to have that on there. And then I'm going to just group them all together, shrink it some, and rotate it because maybe I wanted flowers on here. You can do this with a butterfly. You can do this with anything. So I'm going to put one there. I'm going to go Object, Replicate, Mirror to the left. So it's going to mirror on that side. And now I can bring this one over and make any adjustments that I need to for it, you know, on here. If it was the butterfly, this is a butterfly. I like the shape of it. I may not want to use all of the detail in there. So I'm going to just go and select here. I may not want the detail, so I'm just going to release compound path, weld it all together. Now I just have the outline. And if I didn't want to use the flowers, I could have used these. So you just go ahead, any shape that you want, whether you trace it, whether it's a shape from the Silhouette store, if it's a file that you got that was already a cuttable file. So whatever it is, you can put whatever shapes you want on there. And you just go in and you just place them and use the rotate tool to adjust them to however you want. Once it's there, I'm just going to go Object, Replicate, Mirror left. If it was on the other side, I put mirror right. And it will pretty much be in the angle that it needs to be. And I can put it on the other side. You can do that with different hearts. One of my favorite hearts is this one. And even though it has 3, I can easily just ungroup, release compound path, hold down my shift key, select this one, delete the rest, and now I have a cute heart that I can use in it. So you can do that any way you want, okay? So now I'm going to show you this one more time with, didn't mean to duplicate it. I meant to delete it. I'm going to leave the heart there. And when it comes to longer words like grandma, you want to, I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to type in grandma. You can do them in a circle. However, because it is such a large word, it will look very squished and you may not be able to really recognize what it says, or it may not be, you know, legible as far as what it is, what name or what message you're trying to convey. So I recommend putting them in, wrong node. I recommend putting them in something that's more of an oval shape than an actual circle, okay? And I'm going to just convert this one to path because I don't need that long. I can no longer edit this text. Once I convert it to path, I can no longer edit the text. So I'm just going to pull this into here. And I'm going to again center it. And now I'm going to start to adjust it as a whole. So I'm just going to drag everything up. I pay very close attention to where the line falls on my letters because that is going to affect how the final letter looks. So that's good there. I actually don't want the stars in there. So I'm actually going to release compound path. And I'm going to select just the outside and the middle piece. I forgot. You have to ungroup first. I'm going to select the middle and the outside and the middle piece. Make that a compound path. Did I get it? There. This and this. Make a compound. It's easier to see them if they have a line color on them. So now I'm going to go. I know I can select here. Make it a compound path. Compound path. Compound path. Now what I want to do is I'm going to select all of them. I can use weld, and it's not going to weld the letters together because they're not touching. It's just going to weld what's inside of them, which are those stars. So I'm going to take all of them and I'm just going to hit weld, and it basically just gets rid of those stars for me without having to delete all of them individually. So that's that. And now I'm going to pull the N up. I'm going to pull the D And I'm going to pull the A. Okay, I'm going to select all of these, make them a compound path. That way I can move most of these nodes all in one. So shift and go up, the bottom, and go up, and go down. And then same thing with this one. I'm going to adjust this sum first. Then I'm going to just click here and adjust the top up and the bottom down. I actually want to leave, I'm actually going to, when it comes to these, it's all about design and how you want to design them. So I'm actually going to kind of leave the tip of the M, not where it's fully cut off, and then just bring the rest of this down. And same thing now with the A. I don't have to touch anything over there. I'm just going to pull this section and take it up and over just a little bit. And then I'm going to pull these down. Same thing with this one. Hold down Alt to stretch it all together. Double click. Highlight the nodes. Don't want the middle piece. Keep my shift still selected. Go up. Same thing at the bottom. I'm going to drag and select. Holding down my shift key. Drag and select. And then go down. And then with the G, I'm just going to... Now see, this is where I was saying, this is a prime example where you need to use your nodes. If I stretch it, it's going to cut past that. I don't want it to do that. So I'm just going to shrink it back down some to make sure I still have a good lip or good edge on it. So now I'm going to double click here. And this one may be a little trickier because of, and that's what I was saying, you know, sometimes it's great just to have nice clean edges because, you know, this has different swoops to it. So it will be a little harder for me to get these nodes without grabbing the ones at the bottom. I don't want those. So I'm just going to actually adjust this part up. Down shift and just go up, and then I'm going to take this one because this part doesn't matter because it's going to be outside of the circle or the oval anyway. So double click and select those and go. I actually kind of want this part to stay, so I'm going to leave that there. Double click here, hold down my shift, bring those down and over just a tad. And then all of these, I'm just going to drag, make sure you're on a node and just drag them down. Okay. Now I'm going to go and crop. So you can see that you don't have to use impact. You can use different fonts as well. Okay. So and what did I forget to do? I forgot to keep my circle. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go, that's why what I normally like to do if I was doing this for an actual project, I would actually take this and just make a copy because you never know if you want to make adjustments. And after you crop it, you don't want to have to keep doing a bunch of undos. So I'm just actually going to go here, copy this, select it all, crop, and I'm going to group those together, paste in front. I'm going to actually make my grandma the teal color. Grab this one. I'm going to go offset, offset, and then apply, and then offset again, but I'm going to take it down to 0.04, round, apply, select the outside one, make it a compound path, and I'm going to make it the same color as that one, and I can now get rid of the red piece. And for the names, I'm going to actually use this font here, and I'm actually just going to type in a couple of me and my cousin's name. So just going to go SHAKA-THERESA JASMINE THERESA Chica. And oh wow, we have a lot of T's. My grandma has a lot of granddaughters whose names begin with a T. So I'm going to adjust the point size on this down. It's almost at 50, so let's go with 35 again. And then you don't have to worry about them being all on the same line. Just double click on it. And when you bring it to, actually, I did it again. So I don't want it to be right on. So I'm going to actually take this, make a copy of it. Paste in front. Release compound. Weld. Nothing in the middle, but I want a red outline so I can see it. Actually, I didn't have to do all that. Once I didn't have to do the red outline. I could have just did the from where it was before. I just needed the actual circle. So now I can make an offset, and I don't want it to be that far. So let's go with 0.05 and make that round. So apply, and now I can delete this one. I just need this circle to be the one where I line my text up for text to curve. So now I'm just going to drag it and bring it down here. And if you saw it, I'm going to zoom in some. Hold on one second. You saw my text jump, which is why I like to pull it away from the design. And let me zoom back into this section. Zoom out some. That's why I like to pull it away, because I put it on here. But if you end up moving down too much, it's going to go and it's going to snap to this line. So just be careful and just be mindful. And, you're really looking at where it is. So again, I'm going to come back, pull it here. And I'm just going to add some spacing in between each one to kind of bring that last name a little bit closer. And I'm actually going to now click off, go right into regular selection mode. And I'm actually going to make this 32, maybe even 30, to give me some more space in between the letters. So there, click here, give that some space. And some space there. And delete one there, delete there. Okay, give or take, that's the kind of the shape that I want. So I'm going to go here, convert to path. I'm going to leave this circle there only to line up my heart. So I'm going to go here, make it smaller. I'm actually going to go and make these the hot pink color. Actually, no, let's make these this color. Okay, that works for me. And I'm going to zoom in back to this section. And again, you just kind of place your shapes. You can use hearts, stars, you can use whatever shape you want. So I'm just going to hold down my Alt key, drag it here. Now, here's a trick. If you want it to go to where you kind of know the position that you want it on, and you want it to stay on that line, I'm going to zoom into this section a little bit closer. You just hit O on your keyboard. It's going to turn on your center point, which is this little piece here. Pull that down to the tip of the heart. And then place that like right wherever you want it on the line. So now when you adjust it, it's going to adjust it based on that point. And it's a little easier to kind of adjust it. And that way, all of them will pretty much be in the same position, or, you don't have to worry about going up or down or anything like that. So I'm going to go, and I think I made a duplicate of this one twice. No, I didn't. Okay. Oops, undo. So I'm just going to zoom back into this section. It doesn't matter which direction this is in. I'm going to put that centering point on that line. Now I'm going to rotate. So now it will always be in the correct position. Okay. So just do this again, pull this to here, adjust it, pull this one here, and adjust it. Uh-oh, maybe too far over. And again, you can play around with this, make your spacing however, you want it, whatever is to your liking and how you want it to look. And I actually meant to fill these with color, so hopefully I can just select the edges on these. And, oh, I didn't have one in the middle, but that's okay. I'm going to first fill them with color. And now I can make the duplicate of this one. And zoom in. Okay, and there you go. There's one with names all the way around it, with also with shapes and things in between them as a separator. And then you can go ahead and delete that line. Okay, if you want to make these a rainbow of colors, you can do that. So I'm just gonna, since I have the color there, so everything is just a different color, so you can see all the different elements. Okay, so I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave it as a comment below, whether you're watching via YouTube or directly via YouTube or on any of the Facebook forums. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to this channel and this video. If you're not a part of my Facebook group, SILaholics Anonymous, the link will be in the description box. I try to do live classes on various topics at least twice a month. I also offer one-on-one sessions if you need help with specific questions or issues or projects. I do offer services for one-on-one help and also conversion services for files and things of that nature. So until next time, guys, have a great one. Have fun with your machines.